imagine you have a job and that job has changed. So you've just got notice that the job description has changed from what you were originally hired to do, and it's much more complex, and the tools that you were given originally, they're not working. They simply are either too slow or not fit for purpose. But that's where we're at when we are trying to apply positive thinking, affirmations, and self-help programs to where we are feeling in this world right now, where us individually and collectively are wanting to create a different way of being. And I'm going to look at that. I'd like to talk about how we can enter a space of awareness without the need to change. Because there is something in this. When people approach self-help programs, when they read those books or listen to those CDs or sign up for whatever programs they're signing up for, they're coming from a place of not good enough. There's something that isn't good enough about where you are exactly right now. Now, imagine for a second that you're not this paradigm that you identify with and shows itself in a multitude of forms reflected out in your life and projected, which is the I am not good enough paradigm, of which shows up as, you know, all aspects of not good enough and all aspects of asserting that you are good enough. Okay, so I've often said, you already are. I am. Say those words to yourself. Start there and just feel it. Feel it shift within you. You'll feel some quiet peace because it's the truth. And so coming from that perspective, you have immediately shifted your energy, and you have the potential then of connecting to what you are, which is a creative being. You have the capacity to create anything in your life, absolutely anything. But what people are trying to do is they're applying two systems that don't work together. And one is really the system of you can make your life whatever you want. You just have to be positive about it and think about it and be positive in your thoughts and receptive to good things happening, and opportunities are created from that. And there is some truth in this, right? But fundamentally at root, there's a flaw in that understanding. And the flaw is you're coming from a place of need. You're coming from a place in that way of thinking that doesn't accept exactly where you are right now. And the reason acceptance is the key, and you're holding the key and you're walking around looking for something to unlock your life, and you're talking to people and saying, I don't want to be like this anymore. Can you suggest something? And they're giving you books to read, and they're telling you about the programs they've done that they found really amazing, etc. But you're holding the key all along, right? And that key, it energetically matches the words, I am, because you already are. The problem with coming from a place of, I'm going to try this program, for example, to change my life, to change the way I do something, to change the way the results I get, is that you haven't accepted where you are right now. You haven't unlocked I am and who you are. So what I suggest to people is own it now. Own where you are now. You want to lose weight? Own where you are right now. Own it. Don't judge it. Don't judge the part of you that feels that way, that created it. Don't judge anyone else that's responded or reacted to this. Just own it. And when I say own it, it sounds a little heavy, so let me shift the words. Own it as in accept it. See you, be you, accept you. And from that place, you've taken the key and you've put it in the lock. And it's a beginning. So when we do that, and this is the really important part, without any need to make change. So if you say, okay, yeah, Stephanie, sure, no problem. I don't want to be this weight, so I'm just going to accept where I'm at. Okay, so I'm whatever I am, so many pounds overweight as I see it, and I can accept that. Okay. In order to lose weight, well, actually what you're going to validate is your sense of not good enough. You can't trick yourself. You can't run these two systems together, because this one system of not good enough and the mental construct is very limited, and it keeps you trapped within it. And this other so-called system has no limit. And it's, if you will, is what you are connected to, you are part of, it is within you and you are within it. It has no limitation. You have no limitation. So what you've done is assigned yourself a limited system to something unlimited. It doesn't really, can you see how that's not going to work? So what I say to people is, when they ask me, but how do I know if I'm feeling need? And what about the impulses that come from the very essence of who I am? That's how I'll describe it. Okay, those impulses, let's call it the movement or the expression of your essence. That is quite a different impulse than need. It's yeah, can't find the words for it, but it is. It's a different impulse, and the way you know it and can separate it, if you're trying to understand how to know whether something is right for you, so to speak, is first of all, if you're doing a lot of thinking about it already, you've got a clue. Because if the mind is heavily involved in it and rationalization is involved in it and you're going back and forth, then you can be pretty certain, like with no doubt whatsoever, that this is part of need. So when it's something that comes from that flow of you as a creative being, you are equal to whatever the outcome. You're not even attached to the outcome. You simply feel it and you move with it. And there's no rationalization required. Now, some of you will know that feeling. You will have made decisions, or not even the right word, done things, and you'll be able to say, well, I didn't even think about it. I just did it. It was crazy, but I just did it. And often what people will speak about in those moments is these amazing things that happen, because you're getting out of the way of yourself. And when I say yourself, what I mean is your mental construct. So there's no need involved in that at all. So there's two things here that I'm trying to share with you today. One is that if you're attached to outcome, or you're trying to make change, and remember, you can't fool yourself. You might maybe fool other people when you talk to them, perhaps, if that's your intent, but you certainly won't fool yourself. So if it's somewhere in your mind and you think you're hiding from it because you're going through step one, so that's okay, you're fully engaged in step one, it's not about any other steps. Just be here now. That's it. Nothing else. Accept now. Accept you right now. And yes, it may well be that change is a consequence of that. But you are not seeking change. You are that change. You're infinite. You can make anything happen in your life, theoretically, that you want. Wrong word, but that you want to. But when you're coming from a place of not being here now, then you're not in the flow of creation. So in that effortless, needless creation, let's say. So in answer to the questions that have been coming up recently, what do I do? What's the right thing to do here? If there's need, you'll know it because you're attached to an outcome. If you can picture the potential outcomes and you feel a stronger feeling move toward one or the other, you'll know that you are attached to an outcome. If it makes you sad to think about anything not coming to pass, you're attached to an outcome. So consider that there is no attachment to outcome. You are already. I hope this helps you to connect to something that is a kind of challenging question for many. And I hope it illuminates this for you. Share your thoughts with me. You know, there's lots of videos on my YouTube channel if you want to connect to any of them. They're all there. They're free. There's no signing up to anything. There's no doing anything. If you'd like to, go have a look, and there will be some wisdom shared that I don't derive it from me. It's shared through the sessions that I do frequently in my own life experience. I'm just able to convey it to you. So I wish you well this week. Go well through these days.